Hello and welcome back to You Want to Do What with Dan and Julie. Today we've got Harry Kean on. He's a director at AOD, which is a sort of a different way of looking at setting up a gym, maybe a bit of e-commerce in there, and certainly very different from the other PT we interviewed the other day. Maybe a bit more of a 21st century approach to it. So yeah, welcome, Harry.
Yeah, welcome, Harry.
Hello.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. So we'll get a bit more into what AOD is later. I think first of all, I want to ask you personally, why fitness? Why the fitness industry?
Yeah, so fitness, I feel like it's an area that I kind of gravitated towards, like sport always being a massive part of my life. When I first left university, so probably about 3 years ago, I originally went into oil tanker broking,
Wow.
and I was working in Dubai for a period, and then I was also working in London as well. And I basically just found that it didn't really suit my lifestyle. I wasn't particularly happy doing that. Like coming from Loughborough University, where my life just completely revolved around playing rugby, coaching rugby, like going to the gym, like doing other sports on the weekend, just recreationally, straight into kind of being desk bound and maybe being able to get like 60 to 90 minutes of sport in every day, and that being a struggle as well. I think I really found it difficult to kind of make the transition. So after about a year of doing that and doing that office life, I basically had to get out, and I just really wasn't enjoying it. And once I left, I had two friends who always kind of had their heart set on the fitness industry. They were working in it straight from the moment they graduated, and they wanted to start a business together. And they basically approached me to join them and to help them do that. So that's where I kind of came in, and that's where things really kind of took off, I guess.
I can definitely relate to that. Having worked in the city myself, when you're trying to keep fit and you want to do sport, and I play rugby like you do, and you've got 9 to 5, but it's never 9 to 5. You're in earlier and you leave late, and getting some sort of routine and trying to stick to it and eating healthy it's almost an impossible task. Getting it right day to day. Definitely sympathise with you.
Yeah, for sure. I think like I always, for my entire life, to be honest, like as I was growing up and I was going through education and things like that, I always had my eyes set on going into like the financial sector and working in London or working in like a city like Dubai or something like that. Yeah. But then I think in the reality, when I got there, the sacrifices that I had to make to my lifestyle as such a young man, to like the sport and all the things that I really love, I just think it wasn't really worth it for me. And it just made me kind of miserable, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. It's nice to hear. Obviously, we want to hear people who are following a passion, a dream in their industry. So it's good to hear that.
For sure, yeah.
So now I'd like to actually ask, what is AOD and what is the difference between your gym and maybe a different type of gym?
Yeah, sure. So AOD, I guess, what is it Thor says? Asgard's a people, not a place, right?
You're quoting Marvel. Love that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what AOD is like. So AOD Fitness, there's 3 of us, 3 directors. We're all equal shareholders as well. We're based in Worcester on a farm where we've actually converted an old horse stable into a strength conditioning facility with our offices on the 2nd floor of that building as well. Now, we have that facility and we do personal training there, but really like the personal training side of the business has always kind of been a means to an end for us to pursue the other side of the business, which is online coaching. Okay. And then, so the online coaching is where all the scope is really for our long-term growth and really the earning potential as well. And when we're looking at the online side of things, we have generalized programs, which is like fitness for the masses. So there'll be one program, lots of different people will follow it, and the general markup and the price of it will be quite low. Then we've got individualized coaching, where you're going to have athletes, in particularly like functional fitness and CrossFit athletes, who are going to be paying a premium, going to be paying a lot more to work with us one-to-one, to coach them, to coach them for their sport and to coach them to try and reach their goals. And it's that basis of the online stuff that's really kind of driving this like AOD machine. I mean, the personal training is great and the facility is great as well, but the whole gym side of it really is just a means to an end. at this point.
I guess that's the way that the gym industry has to go, or certainly if you're going to be a personal trainer, having an online presence is just a must. Otherwise, you're going to be working in a gym and, you're almost beholden to that gym owner and, the hours you can do and how much you can do there. Whereas if you have your own online presence, I think there was there's like this girl called Courtney Black, actually. She's been doing some like HIIT exercises, workouts online. I've seen like thousands of people, have been doing that, and it's really taken off for her. But going on to the online part of it, obviously you guys have all come from Loughborough backgrounds, all been into sport, all been into training. But there's so many people online, so many fitness gurus that espouse, a load of bullshit. So do you find it hard to for people to trust you? Do you find that as, to actually go, oh, okay, they aren't talking bullshit. They know what they're talking about. Do you find that an issue?
So I think if you look at the market, especially the online training side of things, there's no barriers to entry for people, and it's saturated. There's no doubt that it's a saturated market because everyone who doesn't fancy doing a desk job is like, you know what, I'm just going to set up an online business and sell programs online. There's no barrier to entry for expertise. You've just got to, like you say, make people trust you. Now, our way around that is the fact that between the three of us, we're massively qualified, from level 4 strength conditioning, like CrossFit level 2, British weightlifting, British powerlifting, CrossFit gymnastics.
Wow.
Sports science degrees from Loughborough University. That's kind of just to name a few. We just had another coach come on who's got even more accolades to her name. And really, we have all this qualification, and that's where working with the one-to-one clients is so important. Because you work with these one-to-one clients, you get these amazing results, and they're the people that have got the credibility, and they're the people that are going to promote you.
So is that where you get your content from? Is that where you get your content from to then push out? Is that how you kind of market yourself? You're using the personal training. Yes, it's great fun and it's good, and you like to help people and see results. But does that then help you formulate content to draw other people in?
So our online presence, so like our Instagram, which is our main marketing tool, really, or you could even say it's our only marketing tool. That is purely geared towards the online business. And what we promote on there is our athletes. It is our premier athletes who are going to these really high level CrossFit competitions and doing well at them. And that's what we promote, and that's what we put at the forefront of our business to kind of draw in these people and build our credibility, to be honest. So that's results speak for themselves at the end of the day, and that's what we get.
That's really good. I'm actually mostly interested, or I'm really intrigued by how you create a training program specific to that athlete's goals and needs. So what is sort of the things that you do differently going from one person to another, and is that that's quite a unique thing in the industry, I'd assume, unless you're the top end athletes.
You're opening a big can of worms here. Like,
we've only got 40 minutes, Harry. So keep it still.
The training program. So like, what you have in CrossFit, you have maybe not label it as CrossFit. What you have in functional fitness or fitness sports, if we're looking at those people we're coaching, you have a lot of people who have experience and they base their coaching off experience. Now, that's going to be purely anecdotal. What we do is we base our coaching off science, and we base our coaching off qualification that we have, and we then pair it with the anecdotal kind of experience side of things, so that it is a scientific, like, calculated approach to making people better. Now, CrossFit as a sport, if I can try and help describe it a little bit for you, is it is the test of fitness. It could literally be anything in fitness. It could be anything. It could be lifting weights. It can be running. It can be running with lifting weights. It's gymnastics movements like swimming, whatever, using a bike, using a rower. Like, it can literally be anything when you get to the competition on the day. And what our job is to basically optimize people's training so they're going to be best prepared for these random tasks that are going to be thrown at them. So what we do is we draw from multiple different disciplines, different research in different areas, and different experiences that we've had to try and build the program for these athletes that's going to have the best efficacy, because there's only a certain amount of time you can train in a week, or you can train in a year. And we've got to make sure every single second of that training is going in the right direction, and we're not wasting any time, basically.
And I assume you take on other, do you take on other responsibilities with these guys, like look at their diet plan as well as their fitness plan?
Yeah, for sure. So when we're looking at the one-to-one coaching online, so like I talk about the individualized stuff, we call it coaching. It's not a fitness program.
Okay,
the program is literally just a tool to make them better. We have weekly check-ins with them. We're looking at their sleep. We're looking at their diets. We're looking at their life habits. So managing stress is going to be a really important thing.
That's really incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So we basically, like, these people come to us and we basically just take control of their lives, right?
Wow. So what for you, is an average day? Are you getting up early, hitting the gym? Like, what's your average day like?
Yeah, sure. So obviously, how we work, we have a lot of freedom. With the whole coronavirus thing going on, we obviously had to shut the PT side of our business. So the in-person coaching, we had to shut. Recently it's open again, but we're coaching people outside, and we're only working 3 days a week. Now, our online business has grown so much that I don't think we're even gonna extend it more than that. Like, we'll probably keep it just open 3 days a week, keep that minimal, just as a nice kind of earner on the side. So a typical day for me is, I'll probably get up, I'll train in the morning, then I'll have some breakfast. Then after that, like, say it's like a Monday or something, we'll usually have a meeting between the 3 directors, kind of discuss what needs to be done that week, what's going on. And then between the 3 of us, we will have our different roles. My role is actually head of sales. And what my day-to-day is going to be there is largely going to be following up leads we have. And I'm going to be the first point of contact for anyone who's getting in touch. Okay. So to be honest, we don't have a really, or I personally don't have a really strict structure. It's just kind of responding to what comes in.
Okay.
And what's put my way. But then also we do have to do client check-ins. And also we have to get all of our programs done as well. And then I'll normally train again later in the day.
That fits really nicely into what kind of personality do you think you need to have as a PT in this modern day and age? Like, we've mentioned there's marketing in it, there's face-to-face, you need to have a good online presence. Well, you're competing as well. You mentioned, your own fitness.
As well as being a director of a company as well. That's very different to being a one-to-one personal trainer, isn't it? Or coach, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it to do well in the fitness industry, you need to have an outstanding personality. Like, people have got to like you, or people have got to want to hear what you've got to say or what you've got to coach. Now, between the 3 of us, as the 3 directors of AD Fitness, we are a team. And we like to call it like the 3-headed monster. Like, it's
a Hydra
we've
or
all
something.
Got exactly, the Hydra. We've all got different traits that we excel in, and we specialize in those areas in particular. So my other 2 directors, one is Adam Roth, the other one is Michael Allen. So Adam is like CFO, like Chief Financial Officer. Like, he basically does all of that. He deals with the accountant. He deals with all the financial things. He scrutinizes everything. Like, if we want to spend money, he questions it. You need that to keep your business together.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah, exactly. Then we've got Mike on the other side. He's a little bit more loose. Like, he likes to spend money. He manages the social media. He does with the marketing. A little bit more of a kind of creative side to him, and that's where he fits really well. And then basically, I fall somewhere in the middle where I'm basically heading up all of the sales. And to be honest, it's not like used car salesman. A lot of the time, it's more like just tenacious, just keep going, just keep asking people. I mean, you guys, you remember when we used to play rugby, right?
Yeah.
The 3 of us. And
so we should probably mention we all played rugby together. This is how we know Harry.
Yeah. Growing up, so. You remember me like recruiting players, right, for that team?
Yeah.
I just wouldn't stop. I just go after people, and you just go and you go.
I think at one point you basically decimated your old team by bringing half of their team to us.
And your school as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm still doing now, but I'm just trying to get,
you're making money out of it.
I'm just trying to for it instead of play rugby. And that's kind of how we all fall. Like, I mean, if you're looking at one fitness professional on their own, they need all those attributes, right?
Yeah.
And you got to look good, and people have got to like you.
That actually leads nicely into another question. Do you always feel pressure to be mega fit, to be in shape, and to look a certain way? So people don't want to look at PT and be like, oh, well, I don't really want to look like him. Like, you must feel pressure to be mega fit.
Yeah, for sure. So I think because we're in sports, so yeah, just to kind of explain a little bit. So I compete in CrossFit as well, right? I used to play rugby, and then basically I played rugby and did CrossFit, and then the more time I spent in this world, the more serious it's gotten, and now I'm kind of on this level, which is like a semi-professional kind of level in CrossFit, and I'm basically training for it full time. And I think because we come from that sport, we honestly don't really care about aesthetics at all.
Right, yeah.
It's not what you look like you can do, it's what you can actually do.
But I suppose if you're training 5 days a week and you guys train hard, like if you go on their guys' Instagram, we'll put some sort of link on our Instagram, but you train so hard, don't you? Like, you proper beast yourselves.
I mean the physique is a byproduct of performance.
Yeah.
And that's what we look at. Like, there's no vanity here. Like, all of our clients, like, they want a given result. Like, we don't really specialize in weight loss and making people look good but feel shit.
Yeah, I mean, your clients are competing. They're not after a toned body.
Yeah, sure.
They probably are, but they're after the gold medal, aren't they? Which is
exactly.
Yeah.
But then I suppose that you can then relate that to, say, if we did one of your programs, we're not going for a gold medal, but we can apply the principles to 70% of what these guys are trying to achieve, and we're going to get the results that we want, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I think a big misconception is that everyone's attitude towards it's changing, but like if you want to look a certain way, as in what for a lot of people is weight loss, it's actually going to be largely based around your diet, not the exercise routine that you're following.
Yeah.
And then if you want to then perform well on top of that, it's going to be what is your training? Like, what are you practicing to get better? And then the diet and the exercise go hand in hand if you really want to kind of go for it. But I think you have a lot of people kind of come to us who want programs for weight loss, and we're just like, that's not really what we do. No, even with the in-person personal training, people who just want pure weight loss, they normally don't really hang around that long, because they just get put through really hard work and they're like, I'm not losing any weight. And it's just like, well, yeah, no shit, you're not losing any weight. You come here and you work really hard, but then you're going out on the piss drinking 8 pints, and it's all just gone, isn't it? So
I suppose you sort of almost hit the nail on the head there as well about what AOD does and how you've sort of evolved from the older model of the PT. You've really cornered yourself a market within fitness. You said it was saturated, whereas you guys have gone in, you found a market, these high-end athletes. But then I suppose if you do the online training programs, there's bound to be thousands of people that want to compete and want to get fitter. So it's about finding that niche, I suppose. Yeah,
I mean, the idea is that they look at these athletes who are top level and they go, I want to be like that, but I can't afford £150 a month for an individualized program, individual coaching. Yeah. So I'm just going to go for the £30 option. That's like the second best to that, basically.
Okay.
So Harry, when you leave the office in the evening, what are some of the real positives you take away from your career and the things that you do day to day?
Yeah, I mean, we don't leave the office, basically. So I mean, I actually think that is one of the positives. I really enjoy the fact that I enjoy my work so much, and I have so much ambition that you just don't really stop. That you can just keep going. Now, I'm sure that's because I've been doing it for 2 years, right? I'm sure as you get older, you want to find that time away. But I really enjoy the fact that it's just nonstop. Every day, you're just going, and you're just trying to get more. And that's fun. Like, that's really fun. It's the same as training. Like, you're training and you're fighting for every inch and you're trying to get better. But then you're applying the same kind of attitude towards your business.
I guess that's a great point you've made as well about age in this industry. I guess you have maybe call it a 20-year sort of gap where you have to make a name for yourself. to get people to still buy your programs after you've stopped training, you know, to make the business viable long term?
Yeah, I mean, what I see long term is being in more of a management role.
Okay.
So that you've taken people under your wing and you've developed them to basically be to the standard that you are, and then you're just managing them. They've got all their own clients. We've actually just started acting on this. So we've just employed another coach now. As it stands right now, like we basically just feed her. She's also from Loughborough. Like that's the kind of pedigree.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
the kind of pedigree we're going for.
Yeah.
We basically give her clients. We let her use our platform as well, and we then take a cut of the programming and the coaching that she's doing. But it's not really any additional work for us.
Yeah.
Other than I need to do a little bit of management here or there to make sure that the work she's doing is up to standard. And then the longer she's on with us, the more learning we're going to do, the more coaching we're going to do for her to make her better. Now, long term is that we have, I don't know, maybe 10 coaches under us, all with 10 of their own clients, kind of thing, and we're not even having to do any extra work for like 100 clients.
So you're building your brand. That goes back to sort of what I was talking about. As a PT, you only have maybe a 20-30 year space where you can make your money and make your name.
Yes. Exactly.
Until a point where you can't do it anymore, you know, physically or whatever it be. Whereas what you're doing is you've taken, okay, yes, we are PTs, we know what we're talking about, but we're going to build a brand online, get people to sign up to it, and then get other PTs to use that brand.
Yeah. I mean, personal trainers only have so many hours they can work, right?
Yeah, that's a massive problem with going into it, isn't it?
Yeah, and then as a young person, you're so hungry. You literally coach every hour under the sun. You coach every hour that the gym's open. But then one day you're going to get burnt out because you're just working at full capacity the whole time. You're just working. And the earning potential for that as well isn't really that great.
So
because it has a capacity on it.
That actually again leads on to something quite nicely.
We can have to stop saying.
Yeah, I know, right? What are the negatives of running your own gym, being a coach and things like that? What are some of the things you do wish, or these get me down a little bit potentially?
Yeah, sure. So, I guess I'd say like long hours. Like I just said, it was a positive, the fact that I never leave the office. you're always working. But then equally, like, you don't really get any downtime. I mean, that's not been a huge issue with me yet, but I can see it being maybe a problem in the future. Like the missus doesn't always like it when I'm answering emails and calls and stuff when we're meant to be spending time together.
I suppose that's also a knock on from being a director of the company as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think probably a lot of the issue is actually the stress that comes with it. Like there has been times where it has been tougher, and you're just so desperate for more business, and it's just not coming. And then there's been other times where loads of business is coming, and you're feeling great. Like it feels like it's easy at that point. So I guess it's the stress associated with running your own business, which is one of the negatives. Like, I mean, when the whole COVID thing happened and we had to close the gym, obviously a lot of our clients as well online didn't have access to a gym anymore. Yeah. So we were losing clients in the gym. We were losing clients online. We offered an at-home training program. A lot of people moved on to that and are happy to keep supporting us. But then also people's incomes are being affected, which means they're going to cut like luxury expenses, like having a training program. Yeah. So that was very stressful. Like that was a huge negative, because when shit hits the fan, you're the only person who's there to kind of answer for it. And initially we weren't actually getting any government support either. So it was all looking like it was going a bit tits up, to be honest.
Oh wow.
So that was a big negative. I guess no one's got your back really, I guess is what isn't great. But then we've come out the other side of this, like, and things are really opening up now, and to be honest, I think we're looking stronger than ever. So
that's brilliant.
It's good to hear, man.
We're just really fortunate, like, for the kind of the circumstances, I guess, that we're in. But there was a point where you're just like, this is is it even worth running your own business? I'd rather just be furloughed by some big company that we're getting paid to do nothing.
I do have to ask you one question. Is a negative, you actually mentioned earlier, that you can't go out on a Saturday and drink the 8 pints on the lash every weekend? Or
no, I could do that if I wanted to.
Okay.
There's nothing stopping me doing that. To be honest, I guess my physique would suffer. But like I say, we're slowly phasing out the in-person training, and you have to be there to train people in person. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys. I thought you might have dropped out. You have to be there to train people in person. So that's the negative, is you're restricted. You've got to be there at 6 a.m. I mean, you've got to be there at 5:30 to set up, kind of thing, in the morning, to do that. So there's a little bit of restriction in that sense. And also you're not working the usual work hours either. But then as we phase out that in-person training, you're just doing your own work hours a lot of the time.
Yeah. So we like to ask a few financial questions. We'll be gentle though.
Sure.
So we looked at sort of the average income for a traditional PT, and the guy we had on was very honest with us. And we sort of said, the figure is apparently between 25k and 60k for a PT. 60k is when they've, built up a bit of a name for themselves and they've got a career. But I'd be interested how that reflects in your model, because like you said, you're building a brand and you're getting an online subscription. You don't have to be at the gym training people 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, and you're still making income. How does that work, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah. So just a bit of interest from do you know kind of like what a PT earning 60k a year is? Do you know kind of what they're doing? Like, is this someone who's in London?
That's in London.
Who's charging like 50 quid an hour kind of thing, or even more?
Exactly that. And I'd imagine the 25k is maybe a gym manager in a local town. I'd imagine people earn less than that, but that was just medium figures.
Okay. So I guess as far as what I'm earning, like, because we're company directors, we've literally just paid ourselves what we need to live. So like the setup we've got, like, we don't pay particularly much money on rent or anything like that. We don't go anywhere because all we do is train. So like right now, we're all very comfortable being paid probably like, I don't even know what it is. Maybe like 15 grand a year. Like, like not really much at all. But then that's because you're
investing back into your own company, aren't you?
Yeah, basically. And I think you talk about the earning potential. Like, we're just watching the business grow, and we basically sit down and we're like, do we need to get paid more now that we're doing this? Like, our housing like circumstances change, and then we'll kind of increase it a little bit towards what the business capacity is. Now, if you want to talk about basically potential for earning, for like revenue for the business almost. There's a few good examples of competitors who are kind of in a similar kind of market to us, who do a similar few services to us. One of them, who's a close competitor to CrossFit athletes. Now, it's not personalized. There's no feedback. There's nothing like that. It's basically just, here's your program for the week. Go and do it. Now, this guy who does it, who owns it, charges. This isn't even the biggest program, but I just know what they're earning. They charge around 40 euros a month for the program.
Right.
They're earning. They're in pure revenue. Bear in mind that the overheads are basically nothing other than maintaining a website. They're earning in revenue a year probably like £300,000.
Wow. So I suppose what you're looking at doing is, just building up your brand, building up what you're doing, and the earning potential is essentially as much much hard work as you want to put in, you'll get out of this.
As much as you want it to grow, yeah. So right now, like I say, like it's a very modest salary. Like, that's what we're getting paid monthly. We probably have bonuses biannually. Like, we have one at Christmas and we have one around September time. That's when we were incorporated. That's when we opened, and kind of just depends how that like quarter's gone or something like that. And we just give ourselves a bit of a bonus, which will top us up. But to be honest, like, without the lifestyles we lead, we don't need loads more money right now. But obviously, like, my ambition, my aspiration is set on like 100K plus salary,
Wow.
in an industry that I love. Now, it might be ridiculous, who knows, but
Got to try, mate.
that's where I want to be going.
Yeah, certainly. So with the future of the fitness industry, we obviously spoken about personal trainers, and yourself phasing out personal training and looking a lot more towards that coaching, the coaching aspect online. With COVID as well, do you think that the fitness industry is looking over the board to grow to an online industry slightly more, or do you think people would still like that more traditional going to the gym by themselves or with a PT?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. To be honest, there is uncertainty around it, but I think this whole COVID scenario, I think the fitness industry is really going to benefit from it in total. Basically, because people have not been drinking and they've been forced to do exercise because they're that bored, stuck at home.
People haven't been drinking.
I think everyone's only been drinking, haven't they? At home, at least.
Well, it seems that way to me. Okay, people are still drinking, but they're doing more exercise because people are doing stir crazy at home.
Yeah.
So then it's giving the opportunity for more people to realize that they love exercise and they love training, and you don't necessarily have to be in institutionalized sport like a rugby club or something like that to exercise. So you might find that as the lockdown restrictions kind of ease up and gyms start opening up again, you might find that there is an influx of this new group of people who are really interested in fitness. Equally though, like you said, the kind of online virtual domain, a lot of people have been doing virtual fitness classes, and you might find that a lot of regular gym goers would now opt to do a virtual fitness class at home, because it's much more comfortable. They don't have to leave early in the morning to go to the gym and shower at the gym and all those kind of things.
Yeah,
they're perfectly happy doing that. So it also could really, like change the face of the fitness industry as we know it. But we just got to wait and see. I've actually got another project that I'm basically buying shares in another company that is going to be a gym that is opening up. So it's not AOD Fitness. It is a gym
different
that
one.
operates. Yeah, it's a gym that operates as a gym, like a strength conditioning CrossFit style thing.
Yeah.
And that like really concerns us, is like, are we going to have a big influx, or are we going to have to invest some time into this kind of virtual fitness class thing that seems to be booming right now?
Interesting. So we always ask this question: what is one thing that is probably wouldn't be on the job description if you were to write it for your job, but nevertheless you have to deal with? So maybe for you, it would be, I don't know, maybe mental health of people. You know, what is not on the job description?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You just knocked the nail on the head, really.
Yeah.
You're not just a coach, as in you're coaching people to be better. Like you are a counselor as well. And you're the shoulder to cry on when shit doesn't go well and stuff like that. So part of the service we do for those one-to-one remote clients is weekly check-ins. And also they have access to us if they wanted to drop us a message or whatever on short notice, but is weekly check-ins. And a lot of the time you talk about what's going on in their training, how things are going.
Yeah.
But also it's like, what's going on in your life? Like, the stress you have in your everyday life is going to affect your performance. I like to think of it like, say you have a bucket, right? And every bit of stress you have just pours into the bucket. Now, psychological, emotional, and physical stress is all being poured into that same bucket. So you've got to manage that for people, and you've got to be there for them if they're going through a tough time. So I think that is one of the really big points, is that you got to motivate people, you got to manage them, and you got to look after their emotions as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I do have to ask you, Harry, if you were to start all over again, would you do fitness and set up a CrossFit gym?
I think we know the answer to this one,
we
but
do.
But we've got to ask.
Yeah. I mean, I would do it. Maybe I wish I'd done it sooner. I don't know.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we have a few a few real good athletes who are at the forefront of the business. Now, there's, out of the 3 directors of us, there's 2 of us who are really particularly interested in reaching that highest level in the sport.
Yeah.
To the point where we're training full time. And I mean, I'm 23 and I've got loads of time, and it's all, training's going really well and all those kind of things. But maybe if I just committed myself earlier, we'd be maybe in a better place as a business, just because you'd be more recognized and things like that. But
yeah,
to be honest, at this point, I've absolutely no regrets, and I'd totally do it all over again.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I found that super interesting. And yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. Awesome,
guys. It was really enjoyable. I actually really enjoyed talking about myself for about 40 minutes. Maybe we should make this a regular thing. This was like my therapy session.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All right, mate. Brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on.
Awesome.
Speak soon. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.